Greetings, queens and kings, if you stopping by. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, have a seat, get comfy. You are at home. I love all of my family that support me to definitely feel at home. Jump in there, comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Ooh wee. Now, family, when will Penelope learn? Girl, it's time to run and get the hell out of Dodge and save you and your child from this crazy man. Will she learn? We'll see. You know what our mama used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. Come on, y'all. Let's get into it. Now, here we have our good old sis Karen coming out from finding out some shocking news that she is having twins. So she tells our boy Zach that he gonna have to double up on that child support. You know she thinking about them coins. And his mouth is like, what? Now instead of passing out or thinking like, oh my God, what Fatima gonna think? This man is like rubbing the stomach, all excited. Like, how much money do you have, Zach? Like, come on. I'm like, bruh, she like shocked that he's so happy. And of course that's gonna make her even more elated. And he's like, oh, we're gonna have double Benzes and all this. She like, slow your roll with the double Benzes. I'm like, yo, like they teenagers, they gonna get these high priced luxury cars. And then she like, yeah, well, the baby gonna be Zach and Zakria or something. He tried to do a female version. She like, what? And that was everything in the world. He grabs her, and that's all Karen needed to know. Like, she was, I'm sure, scared to tell him, but she's all happy. And now Fatima like what's going on? Like, did I miss the party? Like, what do we have here? You grabbing her, you all excited. And he like, look, we having twins. And look at Karen's face like, oh my God, what is this gonna be? And of course she grabbing the belly. And she like, show her. And she looking at it, and Fatima could barely like catch her breath. So she all excited. Karen like, she's out of there because she's still in shock. And Fatima like, what in the hell have I gotten myself into? Bad enough, possibly 2 children. Now you saying possibly 3. He's putting a lot on my good sis back. So now you have Sabrina contacting Andy, and then they talking about, seeing Karen, and how Karen called her and they have to meet. So she said okay, and she dealing with that whole situation, and they gonna get the news about these twins. So now you have Penelope that's coming to Andy's office, I guess, to find out the scoop on what's going on with Gary. And she probably called her to let her know what her investigator found out in his investigations. And, the fact that, she needs to brace herself because she found out, a lot of news about Gary, and it's not so good. And right now, Penelope needs to think about how she is going to strategically get away from Gary because, Andy shared some news with her about a woman from his past that he went to college with, an ex-girlfriend, and what happened to her. Now, Maurice is on the phone with his new boo thing, and he let him know, that he wanted to meet later for dinner. And then at the same time, Sabrina calls after that call, and he's giving her the 411 on how's everything's going with him and his new man. And then she tells him about Karen and these twins. Now, back at the office, Penelope is getting the word from Andy about Gary and the fact that he was involved with a girl in college, and the investigations say, this girl had supposedly, I think, left the party or something. Nobody heard from her. Last she was with Gary, the investigator on the case, always suspected Gary, but they had no proof of him. This woman just practically vanished, Kimberly somebody, and her parents, never knew what happened to her. It's just insane that evidently she did something to Gary, or Gary found out about something and killed this poor girl. This man has been psychotic since college and probably before that. And now she's scared, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How could I be pregnant by this man? But the thing with Penelope is, like, sometimes women who, so sheltered, come probably from a really good family, still thinking she's so better. Like, he can't do this to me like he did to Andy and other women. But yes, he can, girl. Wake up. He can. Now, Miss Marie comes over there because, Gary think he has everything in the bag with her because he worked with her in the past. So she said, you just gonna stand there for a woman? So he's all excited, like, yeah, Miss Marie, sit down. But my good sis, she knows him. She was like, oh, yeah, I guess you too busy. You ain't got no cleaning around here. Would you make me come down to this den or whatever? I guess he had some little trashy office. It's all dirty. And she's like, yeah. So he starts to tell her he has to talk about her. And supposedly, Gary lost a lot of money from this Alfred Foundation or something. And he was like, well, one of the things that people didn't know is that, he's full of shit, basically. He's a scammer. He's no good. He messed up, her money in the past, but he tried to blame the foundation. And she was like, yeah, okay, I'm not buying that. Now, how did they get out of that scam? The market messed up, but you came out of there good and clean. Yeah, okay, she ain't stupid. So now Pam is back at the shop. She finds out that Pam got her using her closet to stash her products. And, she trying to get her little influencer thing up to get her business going. And Miss Lisa stops by because, of course, Karen has to give Miss Lisa the news about these twins. And supposedly the cream that she been using on Miss Lisa hair, Miss Lisa said she needs some more. So those products must be doing real good. So I'm like, go ahead, Pam, with your business, girl. So she takes Mama in the back to tell her the good news. And Mom is like blown away, like, what's up? She said, Mama, I'm having twins. She's like, what? So supposedly, one baby was hiding behind the other. This happens sometimes. And Mom like, oh my God. It's like, she's like excited, but so she says, so Zach is a daddy. She said, well, supposedly, Zach is really excited. But no, I didn't get the results back. But, it's basically Zach is claiming it. Mom, I know he the father, so don't worry about it. So Mom's really excited for her. She's probably thinking that everything, is great with her and Zach, and, everything will work out for Karen. In the meantime, Maurice gets a call from his little booth thing telling him that he's coming over for dinner, what kind of wine he wants, red or white. And he's like, both. I'm like, Maurice, you a hot mess. So now Miss Marie listening to Gary, and Gary's like, coming like he's Mr. Saver Ho or whatever, trying to keep her from the scandalous Andy. And Miss Marie like, what? Yeah, I thought, I'll let you know this news before you get caught up with Andy. She's, no good. She, like basically seduced him or whatever while I was married to my wife. But then, my ex-wife, she had, my wife was, she was representing her. She was like, well, isn't that your ex-wife? He like, yeah, ex-wife. So he tried to run down this whole thing about, she's under FBI investigation and all this crap. She's like, what? Well, I'm so, touched that you so concerned about my well-being, but I do my homework. She don't play. She ain't there to play. I don't do nothing half-ass. So of course she checked all this out, and I know that you are the reason that this law firm are the part of this investigation, not her. And I know that you bought Miss Barnes a penthouse. I know you got her Rolls Royce, and all I could think is that Miss Barnes is really, she must be good in the bedroom. I was like, get it, Miss Marie. She said, you are a narcissistic little fish playing in a big overachieving pond, and the best thing for you to do is swim away before you get yourself hurt. I'm like, bring it. Oh, if I was not so excited. She read him, chewed him up, and spit him out. So whatever you thought you was going to get from Marie Boo, she dropped a bomb on you, baby. Like, don't play with me, because she said you confirmed everything that I knew about your little weasel ass tail. She called him a narcissistic fish, little fish in a big pond. I was like, oh, and he is so angry because this devil knows. No, that's another one you did not get. So now Andy is trying to tell Penelope, yo, you got to get back to your place and like basically steal away. You take you a little bit of clothes, a little at a time, so he won't notice and bring any attention. and you put a little at a time, and you get the hell up out of there and think about you and your child. Get away from this man. Get away. Now, in the meantime, she looking at her phone. She see Gary blowing up her phone. Now he got to try to figure out what he going to do, because of course he probably want to use her, get some more credit cards or some more money or whatever he needs to do to try to burn Jordan, but he can't reach her, and he is pissed off. Now the girls are over there waiting on Andy because they got this news, and Karen springs it on them that, yes, I'm having twins, and everybody's excited except Danny. Danny just want to know, oh, so Zach is the father? That's all my girl wants to know. Is Zach the father? Because she not getting all excited. She ain't all for the children thing and these twins. She knows that, first of all, out of all of them, I think her and Karen gets along the least. She not that happy because of this drama. She needs to know, well, her girl Fatima, that because her and Fatima are really cool, and I think they would be way better friends than she are with these girls. And of course, Andy, that's her bestie, so she's so excited. Sabrina's so excited. But old girl, like, oh, you got a 2-for-1? Oh, God, Danny is hilarious. She said, okay, I'm happy for your 2-for-1 sale with these babies. So now Fatima's back at the house with Zach to let him know, you didn't consider my feelings. I understand, Karen hit us with this news, but you got to consider me. You have, this is like, this is too much. Before she gets into it, she basically tells him, I got to leave. And he like, oh, here you go again, running. Yeah, she gotta think, because right now he's too happy and not considering her feelings. So now, oh boy, he's with his man having dinner, and he's questioning him about his fixation page, aka like little, I guess, bootleg OnlyFans. That what are you going to do about this? Because I know I don't want to seem hypocritical because I met you on this, but I really didn't picture being with a man who's exposing himself to the public like that. And this brother wants a serious relationship, and he's not really looking for somebody to really put themselves out there like Maurice. And Maurice really didn't think about it because he said, I'm making money right now. So that's something for him to think about. In the meantime, Danny's waiting for the group to come back, and our girl had to come for a little drink to relieve her mind from Zach. And this is when I see the dynamic of this relationship, and I'm happy that Fatima is there for Danny to break away from these girls, because they really don't treat her as well as they do the three of them. And it's good that she has Fatima, because her and Fatima could relate a little. They have a lot of alike, and they real down to earth, and they be ready to bring it when it's time to. And I just love the vibe between them. And if it wasn't for Fatima and introducing her to that therapist, it's really helping Danny. So I love that dynamic. And they talking about both of them not feeling the situation with these men and all these children. Fatima like all these damn kids. And it's a lot for him to be throwing. I mean, he's not considering my feelings. And Danny's like, yeah, I really understand that. What I just went through with Tony and being exposed to his children, I can relate. So now Maurice is back at the house, and she told him, well, told the brother, I'm really, was waiting for my friend to become a regional manager so she can basically hire him back. Now, I don't know if her bosses are going to even allow that, even if she did get this position. But he was like, yeah, he likes where this is going, and he will consider letting that go and doing something else. And talking about, he said, why you left the R out of the throat? He said, because I don't have a gag reflux. The poor man spit out the wine. Maurice a hot mess. So now the girls are still talking, and she said, Fatima was telling her she loves that, but at the end of the day, she knows she'll love his children all the same, but it's a lot to deal with. So now the guys them come, and she basically leaves them to their little double date. Sabrina's happy to see her. They invited her, but no, she decides not to stay. So now the two of them talk. Two couples talk, and if you notice, I wish those two couples switched. Did you notice that? So now Gary is pissed off because old boy tells him, you're gonna have to come up with another plan. Do you have anybody else in your back pocket? And really, like, no, he's really pissed off because he's like, these two bitches, excuse my language, but this is basically how he's saying they are messing up my life. We're gonna have to do something, because between Penelope and Andy, they're both a problem to me. So now Sabrina is sharing the excitement with the news that they just found out, the good news that her friend having twins. And Danny's like, yeah, whatever. But Tony started talking about his children. Sabrina like, let me see. I know you got pictures of them. He said, yeah. And then, Rich and Danny don't want to hear that. So now they trying to have their own conversation. So it's like this cross the table conversation on the children. Then you have the two that don't want to hear about the children. And I'm like, I really wish that, Rich met Danny and Tony met Sabrina, because I think these couples would be better for each other than the ones that they with now, because their lives are just similar. And so now Fatima comes back and she talks to Zach about, you didn't hear me. It's a lot that was sprung on me. It's a lot they've been going through in a year. If you realize, Fatima and Zach have not been together that long. I think I mentioned it in the past. Even though, Fatima's been in the picture, from since season 2 or 3. Now it's season 7. So you talking about 4 to 5 seasons, and though it didn't amount to nothing but maybe a year together, and you about to spring 3 children on me, bruh. Slow your roll. I don't care how good the sex is, how fine you is. This is a lot going on. And to put this on her and not consider her feelings, he was like, I'm sorry. I pledge to, be there and listen to you, because I know you can shoot people. You damn right she do. And they made up, and she said, okay, that's all I'm asking for, you to consider my feelings and talk to me, because just be a little bit more considerate. And I hate inconsideration. Now, Zach, in the meantime, is really, really pissed. And he hears on the laptop that Jordan Williams, I guess, candidate for councilman, this was a fabricated story that somebody set up. And, that scandal is over, and he is pissed, and he broke yet another laptop that this man gave him. So he is furious. So now Tony gets a call about his car, and he leaves, and the girls chit chat a little bit. And so basically it's this whole situation with Danny trying to deal with the situation with his children. Now they're going to have some time alone together, because Tony tells her that his I don't know if his aunt or mom or something said that she'll watch the children overnight. So now they get back to the apartment and get hot and heavy, because now they have their alone time. They don't have to worry about these children. And that's what she wants. She wants to enjoy him, someone she's been with only 3 months, and be with him and not the children. So I'm like, all right, lift her up, Tony. I hear that. So now back at Gary's office, he's fuming. He's figuring out how he's going to deal with this situation, how he's going to get Andy out of the picture. He said, you know what we talked about before? He said, yeah. So now he said, we got to take her out. So Andy has to watch her back, because he thinks that she is the thorn in his side, probably communicating with Penelope, making things worse. And he said, we got to take her out. So our girl is going to have to watch her back. But Penelope runs her mouth too much, and she tells everything that Andy gives her. And listen, sis, if you want to be out of there and take a dirt nap with your baby, then go right ahead and keep, telling Gary everything, because you really don't believe how psychotic your man is. Sometimes you got to show people to let them know. So until next week, fam, we'll find out. Peace. And remember, live the life you deserve and stay authentically you.